The marble floors of Harrison and Cole Enterprises gleamed under the fluorescent lights. Employees in tailored suits strode past, their polished shoes clicking in rhythm. Amid this world of wealth and power, a woman knelt quietly with a mop in her hands, scrubbing away at the footprints of others. Her name was Marisol Vega. She had worked as a cleaning lady in this towering building for years, raising her daughter alone. To most employees, she was invisible, just another part of the background that kept their perfect world shining. But to Marisol, every sweep of her mop meant food on the table, rent paid, and maybe enough left over for her daughter's schoolbooks. That daughter was Isabella, a bright-eyed 16-year-old with a curiosity as wide as the ocean. She often accompanied her mother after school, waiting in the janitor's closet with homework spread across her lap. Isabella dreamed of more than survival. She devoured books on business, languages, and law, subjects far beyond her school curriculum. "Mom," she would say, "one day I won't just mop these halls. I'll walk them in heels, carrying a briefcase." Marisol would smile tiredly. "You can be whatever you want, mi estrella, my star. Just don't forget where you come from." That night, as Marisol scrubbed, Isabella sat near the reception desk because the closet light had burned out. The office was nearly empty when a phone on the executive desk began to ring. The receptionist had left hours ago, and the sound echoed through the quiet floor. Isabella looked at her mother. "Should I answer it?" Marisol shook her head nervously. "No, Mija, that's not for us. We'll get in trouble." But the phone kept ringing. Something inside Isabella stirred. She had always been told she was too bold, too curious, too unwilling to stay quiet. She couldn't explain why, but she felt the call mattered. Finally, she stood, walked over, and lifted the receiver. "Hello? Harrison and Cole Enterprises." On the other end, a slick male voice spoke hurriedly. "This is Attorney Lewis Grant. Tell Director Harrison the contracts must be signed tonight. The investors are waiting. If he doesn't agree now, the deal falls through. Do you understand?" Isabella frowned. She had read enough about business to know something was wrong. Pressure tactics, rushed signatures, late-night ultimatums, classic signs of fraud. "I'll let him know," Isabella said calmly, her young voice steady. She hung up, her heart racing. Her mother whispered sharply, "Isabella, why would you?" But before Marisol could finish, a tall man in a gray suit stepped into the lobby. It was Daniel Harrison, the company's director himself. He looked exhausted, his tie loosened, his eyes carrying the weight of decades at the top. He saw Isabella holding the phone. "Who was that?" he asked. Isabella hesitated, then told him everything, every word. To her surprise, Daniel didn't scold her. Instead, his face darkened, and he muttered, "Lewis Grant, that's not our attorney. That's the name of a man blacklisted for fraud." He turned sharply toward Isabella, his voice urgent. "You may have just saved this company from a multimillion-dollar scam. What's your name?" "Isabella Vega," she whispered, her mother frozen beside her. For the first time, the director looked at Marisol not as a cleaner but as a woman standing behind an extraordinary daughter. And what began as a chance phone call was about to change everything. The next morning, the office buzzed with whispers. Executives had learned that someone had intercepted a fraudulent call. But what stunned them most wasn't the scam. It was the fact that a cleaning lady's teenage daughter had been the one to stop it. Daniel Harrison called a meeting, but before addressing his board, he visited the janitor's closet, where Marisol was folding rags. "You should have told me you had a daughter with such intelligence," Daniel said, his voice gentler than she expected. Marisol flushed. "She's just a child. Please don't punish her. She didn't mean any harm." Daniel's brow furrowed. "Punish her? Marisol, your daughter has sharper instincts than half the men sitting at my table. I want to thank her." That afternoon, he asked Isabella to join the board meeting. The girl walked in nervously, holding her rabbit-eared notebook, while executives in $1,000 suits exchanged skeptical glances. Daniel gestured to her. "This is Isabella Vega. She is the reason our company still holds its contracts today. Last night, she detected fraud when many of you might not have. I think that deserves recognition. The room fell silent. Isabella felt her cheeks burn. One board member chuckled dismissively. She's a child. Surely this is just a coincidence. Isabella lifted her chin. It wasn't coincidence. The caller used urgency as a weapon. Real attorneys don't threaten directors over the phone at night. He wanted fear to make you sign without reading. That's how scams work. Murmurs rippled through the room. Even the skeptical board member blinked in surprise. Daniel smiled faintly. She's right. When the meeting ended, Daniel pulled Isabella aside. Have you ever thought about studying law or business? Her eyes lit up. Every day. That evening, Daniel walked Marisol and Isabella to the lobby. I owe you both more than thanks, he said. So I'll make you a promise. Isabella, if you want, I'll personally sponsor your education. Full scholarship, mentorship, everything. You have a gift. The world needs to see it. Marisol's knees nearly buckled. Senor Harrison, we could never repay you. You already have, Daniel interrupted. Your daughter saved this company. Now let me return the favor. That night, Isabella cried quietly into her mother's arms. Not out of fear this time, but out of hope. Months turned into years. With Daniel's support, Isabella excelled. She studied law and international business, mastering languages, contracts, and corporate strategy. She became known for her razor-sharp mind and her unshakable ethics, qualities that reminded Daniel of the night she first picked up that phone. Meanwhile, Marisol continued her cleaning job, though now her uniform carried a new pride. People no longer passed her unseen. She was the mother of Isabella Vega, the girl who saved the company. One winter evening, Daniel faced another crisis. Rivals tried to trap him into signing a new contract written with hidden loopholes that would strip his company of millions. His board was divided, unsure whether to sign or risk losing investors. Daniel leaned back in his chair and, for the first time in years, smiled with calm certainty. I think I know someone who can read between the lines better than any of you, he called Isabella. Now 22, confident and brilliant, she arrived with her mother by her side. She flipped through the contract, her eyes scanning every clause. Within minutes, she closed the folder. This isn't partnership. It's theft hidden behind polite language. If you sign this, you lose everything. The board gasped. Daniel chuckled. I knew I could trust you. He pushed the folder aside and looked at the executives. Gentlemen, never underestimate people because of where they come from. Years ago, this young woman was just a cleaning lady's daughter, ignored in our lobby. But when the moment came, she saw what none of us did. And today, she just saved us again. The room erupted in applause. Marisol's eyes filled with tears, pride radiating from her. Daniel placed a hand on Isabella's shoulder. One day, this company will need a new leader, and I'd be honored if that leader were you. The once invisible girl stood tall, her mother's calloused hands clutching hers. And in that moment, Isabella Vega knew her story had only just begun.